The American bison, the buffalo, is the largest land mammal in North America. As many as 50 million of them once roamed freely here. And through centuries, many Native American peoples developed a close relationship with this animal. It not only provided food, but was also a major source of clothing, shelter, and tools. It was indispensable to Native survival and played a strong spiritual role in their cultures. Today, more than 50 Native American tribes keep a collective herd of 15,000 bison in the United States.
It still remains the symbol of powerful spirituality, and it's one of the iconic representations of God's power. And that's how important it is to us as Crow people.
During the 19th century, the arrival of white settlers brought dramatic change to the Great Plains. As they pushed west, competition for hunting and agricultural land drove a government policy to subjugate and westernize native peoples.
Anything that was Indian culture was outlawed by the United States government, and the military enforced it at gunpoint. The United States government employed forced assimilation, where they used military personnel and missionaries, Christian missionaries, to coerce the American Indians to become good little Christians, become farmers, and give up their native culture and become good little white men.
Commercial hunting and deliberate killing of bison pushed the species to the edge of extinction, and Native Americans to the brink.
The white man knew that if they killed off the buffalo, the Indians would starve. If the Indians were starving, they were no longer strong enough to do battle. And when the white man came and killed off the buffalo, that caused the great demise of the great Indian nations all across the West. Kill the Indian and save the man. That was the policy. And so that whole process came about, and that culminated in the loss of culture in many different forms. They came and took the food source away, made the Crow Indians and all of the other Indians weak, and they began to die from disease.
The incredibly harsh treatment of Native Americans and the eradication of their primary food source brought a huge reduction in the numbers of Native peoples.
By the time 1900 came about, of the 70 million, there was only 750,000 counted in the 1900 census.
After decades of suppression, Robert Yellowtail, a respected Crow leader, convinced the U.S. government to allow his people to have their own bison on reservation land.
And in 1934, I think it was 34 or 35, my grandfather, Robert Yellowtail Sr., had that vision to bring buffalo back into the tribe so that the health would be better. So he went to Yellowstone Park, made the deal with the Park Service, with the government, and he brought in, I think it was about 105 head of buffalo. They made a buffalo pasture, which consists of about 29,000 acres, and now we've built up our herd to about a little over 2,000 head. And we still use them as a food source.
While the Crow tribe and other Native Americans still suffer the repercussions of the colonization of North America, the Crow buffalo pasture is redeeming a vital part of their past.
Because we want to provide service not to only our tribe, but to every other tribe that wants to be in the program. And so I see it as a very vital importance to not just the Native Americans, but to all people. The buffalo is the best meat source beyond a cow, any of the domestic animals. The buffalo is so high in protein, very least in fat, and I think that's why the Native Americans were so healthy.
The buffalo's return has strengthened the essence of Plains Indian ceremonies, including the Crow's ageless sun dance.
In the Crow sun dance, They make an appeal to the spirit of the buffalo to bring the power that they would impart to the subjugate people. And so the buffalo was not only a symbol of spiritualness, it was very important in the way that it showed us, how the future and what the future portended for us.
The spirit of the buffalo will provide a home for our people.
Native Americans have played a major role in bringing bison back to North America. A bittersweet success because of the high price they paid in the past. But there is now hope that their future generations will once again know firsthand the power and strength of the buffalo.
And we can thank the spirit and the embodiment of the buffalo to help us survive, prosper, and proliferate.
For This American Land, I'm Gary Stryker.